Welcome to Vintage Variety. Today I am going to be redoing or repairing this beautiful Art Deco uranium glass necklace. I purchased this necklace from Dana Stewart over at Killer Queen Antiques. I won it in an auction. It was a lot of vintage and antique jewelry. If you guys missed the unboxing where I unboxed those items, I'll leave a link to it in the description box below this video. And I'll also leave a link to Dana's channel so you can go over and check out all of the wonderful antique jewelry that she has. I have done a few videos in the past showing step by step how to restring a beaded necklace, and you can find all of that content on my channel. It's a pretty simple and straightforward process, so rather than going step by step today, what I'm going to do is I am going to show you all of the materials that I'm going to use, any tools that I'm using. I'm also going to show you how I have everything laid out on the bead board and how I go about figuring out how to make a design out of a necklace that's been broken and perhaps even missing some beads. Once I've showed you guys all of that, I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to get the necklace restrung, and then I will come back at the end of the video and show you guys the result. It's always fun to see before and afters of these old necklaces. I've already laid out the necklace on the beading board, and as you can see, I haven't taken it completely apart. Instead, I've laid it out so that I can look at it closely before I deconstruct it. I want to get an idea of what the original pattern of the necklace was. We have some beautiful zigzag beads that were a part of this necklace. We also have some larger, round, kind of crystal looking beads. There's also some tiny bicone beads and a few very small round beads. You can see right here where those were used in the necklace. Then we have some smaller flat beads. And of course, we have some uranium glass beads. It may not look like it, but there's plenty enough beads here to reconstruct this necklace, and it'll be a decent length. I have the pieces that are still on the string, along with all of the loose beads that originally went with the necklace. And my guess is that at one time or the other that this was a very long necklace. One tip that I want to give you guys when you're doing something like this, if the necklace is still on part of the string and you can see the pattern of it, take pictures of it. That way you have some sort of a guide to look back once you strip all of the beads off of the cording. And that's what I've done here. I wanted to show you guys I've took quite a few pictures of the necklace and how the beads are strung on it so that I'll know what the pattern is. One thing I did want to show you guys are all the different sizes of these flat beads. We have some tiny ones, then we have some smaller ones, some medium-sized beads, and of course we have some much larger beads. There is one bead that is larger than the rest of them. So what I think I'm going to do is I am going to use that one large bead and some of the medium-sized beads to make a focal point towards the front of the necklace. Then I'll use some of the smaller flat beads along with the bicones and of course the uranium glass beads to create the rest of the necklace. And I wanted to show you these. These I thought were bicones at the beginning when I was first looking at all of these, but these aren't. These are just tiny little round glass beads. And then, of course, we have quite a few of these zigzag beads left and a ton of the uranium glass beads. This is a look at how I've got the pattern for this necklace laid out. I kind of went off of how it was originally put together, and of course I don't have all the beads, so I'm going to have to make do the best I can. Once I laid all of my beads out here, I realized I'm going to have a few beads left over, and that's okay. but you can see here in the front where I've made kind of a focal point. Then I've gone up on the sides, still using those zigzag beads, and I used these zigzag beads as far up as I could. And then, of course, I've wrapped around to the back where I have my clasp. Other components that I'm going to be using in this necklace are, of course, a spring ring clasp, some jump rings, and some clamshell covers for hiding the cord knot at the end of the necklace. If you aren't familiar with these, I will show you how to go about using them, and I'll also put up a thumbnail so you can get a really good look at what they look like and how they're constructed. I'm also going to be using jewelry glue. This is the brand that I've been using lately, and the reason I need this is because this necklace is going to be restrung on silk cording, and at the end where the knot is, it's always a good idea to put a bead of glue to keep it from fraying. This is the cording that I use. It's by Beadalon. It has the needle already attached to it. This one is 2 mil. And I'm going to be using 2 of these. I am going to double string this necklace so that it's really nice and strong. And I will show you what the needle on this looks like. It is very slim, and it kind of just looks like a long wire piece, but this fits in through the beads very easily. Another tip I want to give you is when you're using this threading material, go ahead and take it all off the card. Don't try to leave it on the card and unwrap it as you need it, because I've done that in the past and ended up having all my beads fall off and it was a mess. So what I like to do is take it all off, find the end of the cord, go ahead and put your knot in there, secure it with some glue so that it doesn't fray, and then you'll start putting all your beads on it. And I'm going to start at the left. I'm going to go ahead and put the clamshell cover on it, and then I'm just going to work my way all the way around the board. Of course, I will be using two of these strings of thread, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how I go about getting it secured on the end. I've already made my knot. I put some jewelry glue on this and let it dry so it'll be nice and secure and it won't fray. I'm going to show you how to use these knot covers. I have put a picture up on one side of the screen so you can get a really good idea of what it looks like. It does have a hole in the center. That's what your thread is going to go through. And then it has 2 holes on the side. You want that part of it to be facing outwards away from the beads, because that is what you're going to attach your jump ring to. And then you just press it closed. You can use some jewelry pliers and just gently squeeze it, but you don't want to squeeze too hard because you will crush it, and that's not going to look too great on the necklace. You can wait to add your jump ring or your closure when you're finished stringing up the necklace, or you can go ahead and add it at the beginning, which is what I like to do. Of course, we will have to add a piece to the other side, either a jump ring or a closure, but I like to go ahead and add this and get it over with. So you just loop this through those 2 holes that's on the knot cover, and then you're going to twist to close the jump ring back up. Now I'm ready to go ahead and start putting the beads on this cording material. All my beads are laid out. They're in the pattern I want. I'm going to start at what would be the back part of the necklace. I'm going to start on the left side, putting the beads on the cording, and I'm going to work my way all the way around to the right side until I run out of beads. At that point, I'm going to do the same thing that I did in the beginning. I'll put a knot cover on, I'll tie the knot, cut off the excess, put a little bit of jewelry glue, and then I will add a spring ring closure. If you guys do want to see a step-by-step video on how to bead up a necklace, as I mentioned earlier, you can find those on my channel, and I will leave a link to one of those videos in the description box below this one. I'm going to finish this off camera, but once the necklace is completed, I'll come back and I'll show you how it turned out. This is my completed necklace. I am so pleased with the way this turned out. I did want to show you guys what I was talking about by creating a focal in the front of the necklace with the largest beads. Those zigzaggy looking beads, I wish I knew what those were called. I didn't have a whole lot of those, so what I did was I continued kind of mimicking that front focal point until I ran out of those. And at that point, I started using the flat beads with the tiny bicomb beads. And of course, at the back of the necklace, I ended with those 2 tiny round beads that I had. Really pleased with the way this looks, but let's have a look at it on the necklace stand. This necklace did end up being a pretty decent length. Measured from end to end, it is a total of 26.5 inches. And of course, worn around the neck, it's got a 13.25 inch drop. One thing that I did consider doing is taking this apart, adding some more clear glass beads, and turning it into 2 necklaces. But you guys let me know what you think of that idea in the comments. Would you do that? Would you leave the necklace as is? Do you like the way the necklace turned out, or is there anything you would have done differently? And of course, this necklace would not be complete unless I showed it to you under the black light. If you guys enjoyed today's content, please remember to give me a thumbs up. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to share this project with me. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. Ring the bell for notifications, and you'll be notified anytime I upload new content. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.